Final question that I've prepared is businesses when you were younger. When you were younger, there were any businesses that you started up or you tried to start up? Now looking in, hindsight, they actually were not that.
Multiple, but I never actually pursued a lot of them. Oh gosh, where to start? One I wanted to make. So the first one I bought, I should have done this one in high school. I bought the domain oddjobs.com.
Whoa.
Believe it or not. And it was a high school business project. And Odd Jobs was basically a Craigslist for people to post up odd jobs that they want to get done. And people could make an account and do those odd jobs. Like if someone wants their garage cleaned out, you post on oddjobs.com, someone could go and clean out your garage for a specified price. And it could be anybody. And then that person, the worker, would have their profile on there. And people can review them.
Right.
So it turned into later what was turned into TaskRabbit, and then they sold that for a lot of money. So had I pursued that, sure, but yeah.
So only good ideas ever from you.
So that was one of them, and I let the domain expire, and so and then someone else bought it. I should have kept it. That was at oddjobs.com.
Yeah,
it was great. Another one was I bought the domain artsleeve. I don't know why. Just artsleeve.com.
And now it's bought?
I don't know. I don't think I ever renewed it, but I bought artsleeve.com.
What kind of business are you trying to...
So what that was supposed to be, that now turned into Etsy.
Oh, nice.
Before Etsy, this would have been in 2008 is when I did this. I'm sure I might still have my whole outline for artsleeve.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But yeah, artsleeve was one of them. There were a whole bunch. I came up with all these. Let's see. If I type in art sleeve, this would be a blast from the past. Let's see. Art sleeve. All right. So I did find it.
All right. You found art sleeve.
So I came up with all of this on Microsoft Word. So I came up with this whole outline. Literally on my. So art sleeve, and then you could search for painting sculptures by artist name, and then it would basically be. So this is before I guess this is basically a MySpace thing, because this was over 10 years ago that this was done. So you would have the user profile picture, people could rate them, the views, their featured artwork, they can have blogs, galleries, reviews, a guest book for people to sign in.
So this was a good idea. If you pursued this could have taken off.
So anyway, so that was one of them, artsleeve.com. The other one that I never pursued that I really wanted to do, I wanted to come up with a free cell phone plan where instead of, when you call a phone, it's it rings
Yeah.
Imagine if you get a free cell phone, so you wouldn't have to pay any sort of monthly data or anything like that. So you don't have to pay $30-$40 a month. But instead, anytime you make an outgoing call, you'll hear an ad for 10-15 seconds. And then the call goes through.
Whoa,
yeah.
That's...
So I figured, or when people call you, let's just say, instead of hearing it's ringing, or how people have a ringback tone where it plays some classical music or something, imagine if a person calls you and they just hear an ad until you pick up the phone.
That's pretty smart.
Why don't people do that?
And, if you're receiving calls, maybe you could even, if you receive a lot of calls, you could probably monetize it. And, you could wait for 3 or 4 rings, wait a while, and then finally answer to get longer playtime on the ads.
It's so you would either get a free cell phone that all you have to do to make a call is just listen to an ad, fine. Or you can get paid. Imagine if people call you and you could just get paid. Now you would have to figure out some way of just not manipulating that and hiring call centers to call you.
Right.
But I think realistically, it's just a free cell phone plan where you can make as many calls as you want within the United States, but it's just you listen to an ad before the call goes through.
Not a bad idea.
So I came up. I know I got a business plan in there, but basically I was one of those kids where it's okay, so there's 300 million people in the United States. If we can get 1% of those people, and we make an average of 15 cents a day, then all of this, and I'm $1 million a day based on that. And that was my pitch. Was just that. If we get this amount of people, make this amount.
Right.
I started looking into it. And I felt so over my head. I had this idea.
It's hard.
But I was like, where do I start? How do I get advertisers? I think I was like 18 years old. I was like, what do I do? Never pursued it. There were two other ones. One was called truthandtell.com. And that was a website. I wanted to make a Yelp for people.
To see if they're like a good or bad person.
Yes.
Okay, I think I've seen like a Black Mirror or something on this.
Something like that. Yeah, but made this one again. This was like almost 10 years ago. Truthandtell.com. And this one we actually have. I think you could go to truthandtell.com. I just don't know if I want to promote truthandtell.com because we're not pursuing it.
So in hindsight, you think it's a bad idea?
Terrible idea.
To just like see how good of a person people. Okay,
yes.
If you had an account, what do you think your rating would be? Minus any influence from subscribers or anything like that. Just the people you meet on the street. What do you think your rating would be out of 10?
Probably 4.5.
Wait, out of 10?
Oh, out of 5.
Oh, okay. So you think you're like like
a Truth and Tell, okay, so
80%?
Yeah.
I think it's funny. It's funny. Everyone's done things in the past that they haven't been proud of.
All right. So anyway, I thought it was like if Yelp for businesses, there should be a Yelp for people. And if someone's a bad person, you can go and make a review on it.
It'd just be a bad person.
Yes. Okay. But here's the issue: is that we started getting into it, and a few things. One is that people will very rarely go and write a positive review. Usually the people online, if they actually take the time to review something, it's going to be negative. Like, you have to have such extreme feelings to actually take the time to review somebody. So my thinking right off the bat is that predominantly it's going to be overwhelmed with negativity. It's going to
right.
The next thing was that there's no fact checking. There's nothing for me to go on and I don't like this person, so I'm going to write a really bad review on them. There's no filter to that. And once you begin moderating comments on the internet, you're assumed to then be publishing or endorsing information. So this is something I wasn't aware of, but you could be a website and remain completely neutral and be completely void of lawsuits if you don't moderate comments. If just whatever's submitted is submitted, you don't touch them. But as soon as you start moderating any comments or restricting what could be published or removing stuff, then you're endorsing everything else, and then you could be liable.
Interesting.
So I didn't know that. So, if something gets published on the site and it's obviously fraudulent and it's obviously not true and it's so ridiculous, we can't go in and remove it. And, you wouldn't want it to be damaging to the person, or you wouldn't want it to be hurtful.
Right.
If I wrote a really terrible thing about you and that you lose a job now or something happens, I couldn't feel good about myself knowing that my website led to something like that. We did do a mock-up site that we promoted around our friend group, and it actually got for some reason it caught on in this other country. So here's what happened. So what we ended up doing is we went through 50 to 100 friends, and we started promoting it on Facebook, and we got a decent amount of traction for people making little profiles and kind of having fun.
So you had to make a profile, so you couldn't just see someone on the street and that guy's face looks stupid.
No, so
stupid guy.
I would have to make a profile on you, and then I would upload your
So even if I didn't even say it's okay for me to be there,
No, the way we had it structured is anyone could go on and make a profile about anybody. So I could make a profile about you, upload your picture, put your name,
and just say whatever
put your location, say whatever you want. And so we did this, and what ended up happening was that we had our friend, and he had a very unique last name that not many people have that last name. So we made a funny little post about him, just funny stuff, but it was kind of wild. So we're friends. So you know how friends is kind of joke around with each other. So anyway, we wrote some stupid stuff about him, just jokingly, knowing that we're all friends, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that showed up within a few weeks as the #1 result on Google when you typed in his last name. And his dad has a construction company with that same last name. So guess what? His review came up first before his dad's construction company. So the dad was furious over that because when people Google the construction, I was almost about to say his name. Our friend's profile would come up first with our little joking things. And he got very upset about that, so we took that down. But for some reason we would log in and see people had been creating profiles in some other country, and we're how did it get? Because we never promoted it there.
Right.
So anyway, that was one of those ideas that got shut down. Two other ideas I came up with, by the way, that I just remembered. One was an Airbnb for parking spaces. Like, in Los Angeles,
Smart.
Parking is so hard to come by. And I remember going around Venice, and especially as a real estate agent, like, you want to show a property in, like, Venice or, like, Santa Monica. It's either all permit parking, you can't find anywhere to park. But imagine an app that you can pull up on your phone and basically pay per minute to park in someone's parking spot.
These are good ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know why you never really
they tried
pursued
in
them.
San Francisco, they failed.
Oh.
Because they couldn't find enough homeowners that would agree to do something like that. Now, I kind of get it. I'm sure I have it all in my email too. It's if you have like a $2 to $3 million house, you're not caring if someone's going to pay
$5,
$5 an hour for parking. I thought that it would make sense for someone's driveway during like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. if they're at work anyway. Why not make $20, $30 while they're away? So that was something I thought of. Oh my god! So this we tried making a Truth and Tell, by the way, mobile app where you could swipe your friends. So it's integrated on Facebook. So you could go on the app, download all of your friends from Facebook, and then swipe.
I love that image that just says, "Is Carla honest?"
Yeah, but it's a rating system. So basically, it'll ask you questions about the person. You could say yes or no, and you could go through your Facebook friends, and then like, is Carla honest? Oh my god! So we put down here, she is so annoying. Stop posting pictures of your food. Watch what you say to her. She can't keep a secret. 4 mutual friends.
I don't understand. Like, did you think this was like funny when you were a kid? Because I think it's funny now. Like
Yeah, but Carla, look. But you could see, like, is Carla honest? You could see 12 people said no, 6 people said yes.
When you were coming up with that idea specifically, did you think that it was actually like going to be a successful business or anything?
I mean, obviously at the time, yeah.
Did you think that what you were doing with your friends was funny though?
Oh, we had a blast. I mean, this was us getting together like twice a week, hanging out, coming up with ideas, thinking we're gonna be, billionaires. That's what we thought.